Hi, and welcome back to the Suburban Chateau. My name is Stephanie Everett, and I'm so glad you could join today's vlog. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the benefits of riverboat cruising. And my husband and I just came back from our second riverboat cruise. We had the good fortune to just cruise down the Danube River, got home just within the week. And I've been thinking a lot about the benefits of the riverboat cruise. Now, I'm not going to be comparing because we've never been on a large boat cruise, but I know the things that really attract me to the riverboat cruise idea. And then I have a few tips too that I'm going to share with you on packing and my sort of thoughts. And I've really never watched any travel vlogs about packing, but I really had some things that worked for me well. This is our second riverboat cruise. And to be honest, we're not world travelers. We just started traveling last year. We always stayed in the States. We never went anywhere overseas. And last year we went on a Rhine River cruise, and this year was the Danube. So I have a lot of things that I know have helped me a lot on these two cruises. And I just thought I'd share a little bit with you about what to expect on a river cruise and some of the benefits that you can get from a river cruise and some of the things that maybe I wished I had a little bit more of that we didn't get because it was, a certain type of tour. But really incredible trip, and I just thought we'd share some ideas. Now, as I mentioned, this is our second riverboat cruise. Both of the cruises were with a group called Elite Cruises. They were both Joanie Madden Irish river cruises. We follow a band called Cherish the Ladies, and their lead of the band is Joanie Madden, and we've known her for many, many years. We're interested in Irish folk music and have followed her career, and I had seen many of the posts. Joanie does not only riverboat cruises, but large boat cruises and bus tours and all kinds of things, as well as lots of touring in the United States. So one of the things that first attracted us to the tour is that we knew the people that were sponsoring the tour, and we knew the band. And one of the great things, the pluses of our cruise, is that every night we had Irish music. And Joanie brings her band plus extra people that sing and do all kinds of instrumental performing, and they kind of fill in every night. And there is awesome Irish traditional music every single night on the cruise. So I would say that was the number one thing that attracted us to this cruise. And our first cruise was the Rhine River, and I had been following. Joanie took a larger boat 2 years ago to Nova Scotia, and she has something called the Folk and Irish Cruise. And I was kind of watching all the posts from that cruise. It happened to be at the time I was teaching, and of course you couldn't miss the first week of school, so there was no way I could consider it. When they got back, they put up a post on Facebook that they were taking a riverboat cruise, and they have a few cabins left. And I talked to my husband, and I called right away. And even though I had some fears about traveling overseas, I said this is the right thing because the riverboat really appealed to me. Now, the other thing that appealed to me about the riverboat cruise idea is I was a little worried about seasickness. And I thought, if it's on a river, I've been in boats many times and never, ever gotten nauseous or seasick. And so the appeal of a smaller boat, fewer passengers, there's just about 150, 160, depending on the boat, with a riverboat. One thing that really appealed, it's just a little smaller boat as well. And the other neat thing about all the passengers, we all had something in common, and that was we loved Irish traditional music. Now, when we went on the Rhine River, one of the things I really loved was sort of setting up a home base. And I was surprised how large the rooms were in our riverboat. They were really not what I thought of as like a large boat, like something small that you really can't move around in. They really almost were the size of a hotel room. And they had great cabinet storage. So when I was on the Rhine River, I just thought I'm going to unload my suitcases and pretend I'm at home, put everything up in the closet, use the drawer space, and I just kind of moved in. And I'm going to share a little bit with you right now of our closet. We had a walk-in closet this time on the riverboat, and it was just absolutely, I kind of just set up shop in there. My husband, He was on the other side of the bed, so he stayed on the other side of the room, and it worked out really, really well. I kind of took over this walk-in closet. The only trouble we had is every time you opened the door, a big light came on. So if he was napping and I wanted to get into the closet, I had to do it really quickly. And if you shut the door back, the light went off. So then you were stuck in a dark room. So we had some issues there, but it really, for me, I just moved in. And I don't normally do that when I'm in a hotel room. I don't usually use the dressers or anything like that, but I did here. And that really appealed over, say, a bus tour where you're having to pack everything up every day and load it in your suitcase and go to the next town. So for me, that was such an appeal. And I guess I didn't realize it until I was on our first cruise last year. But this year, it was really great because we had a lovely room and that lovely walk-in closet. One of the things I really love about the river cruising experience is the closet space. And I am a traveler that tends to go for just staying in my suitcase and taking things out as I need them. But when I'm on the river cruise, it's nice to settle in. You're here for a long time. So I like to take advantage, and this time we have a walk-in closet space, which is really lovely. And so I thought I'd just share with you my process of setting up. You can see there's lots of shelving space, so I'll probably put my shorts, my jeans, things like that, so that I can spread out and enjoy and see what I have to select from for every day. So here's a little time lapse of that process. Now on both trips on the riverboat, I picked a color palette that I knew could work with just one purse, just a few pairs of shoes. This year, my main color that I picked out was black. And then I worked out some colors like pink and cream and white that would go with that nicely. In the daytime, I would wear a black top, sometimes shorts or capris. In the evening, I tried to stick to solid black dresses, and then I could mix and match with different colors of dusters or a little sweater over top. And it really worked out well to keep the color palette simple. I thought I'd show you the other side of the closet. I've already bought a souvenir, so that's up top. I have a whole shelf for extra toiletries, just in case I run out of something. We brought some preventative medication type things. Here are my jewelry, my camera equipment, my hair brush, some extra sunglasses. Of course, I have some toiletries also in the bathroom area. And then, of course, just some things that I packed in bags. I have some camis, yoga pants, things like that. And then, of course, on the bottom, I have the shoes. You can see that I've already stowed away my larger suitcase. Now, on our riverboat cruise, we took daily excursions, which were incredible. And we could sign up for them. You could stay on the boat if you wanted, but we paid a little extra. And this time on the Danube, we went to many cities. We went to Budapest in Hungary, Bratislava in Slovakia, Vienna, some little towns as well, and of course Salzburg in Austria. But I would say this time versus the Rhine River, we went to some larger cities, but usually mostly held in the historical section of each of those cities. And so it was really an incredible trip, and we took advantage of all of the excursions. One of our favorites was in Salzburg, Austria. Real close to Salzburg, we went to Lake Monsi, which, if you've ever seen The Sound of Music, is the opening shot at the beginning. There's a lake, and I'm sure they used a helicopter back in those days, but there's that opening shot coming down to her on the mountain, and they're kind of looking at the hills and the lake. And we were fortunate enough, what the surprise we had at Lake Monsi is that we took a boat around the lake. And on the boat was Elizabeth Von Trapp, who I'll picture here with me. And she sang some of the songs from Sound of Music. And it was one of those unforgettable things. If you know anything about me, I'm a musician and a singer and a drama person. So to see Elizabeth Von Trapp, who was the granddaughter of Maria Von Trapp, was pretty cool. And we sang along with her. To sing along with her was one of those like once in a lifetime experiences. One thing that I loved on our cruises both to the Rhine River and in the Danube, is that all of our meals were pretty much provided for. Every morning we had a breakfast buffet, but you also could select a la carte items. The breakfast buffet, there was nothing wanting. Every day there was eggs, potatoes, different kinds of hams, different kinds of sausages, bacon, yogurt, all kinds of juices, fruit. In Europe, you see more of those sandwich fixings, which I don't get, but that's okay. Wasn't raised with that, but that's a thing. Like there's ham and buns and things like that. And I know some of the people eat that, but there were all kinds. The buffet was complete. There was nothing missing from it. They had cereals, all kinds of things like that, and all kinds of breads and pastries. And then every day they had a chef right at the pastry station, French toast, pancakes some mornings, fritters, all kinds of specialties. So, breakfast was amazing. They had not only a sit-down lunch, but also a kind of a quick serve buffet up on one of the lounges, which was kind of nice. One of the days we really spent a lot of time on the Danube. So rather than do the sit-down dinner, I just went through the quick line buffet, and then I was able to position myself to film. And so that worked out really well for me. My husband, he likes the sit down dinner. That service is something he really enjoys. And from what I understand with people that go on the larger cruises, this is a lot different. There's really only one restaurant. But if you only have 150 people, you can accommodate all those people in one restaurant. So that was something that I'm sure is different than a larger cruise. Now, I have to say, on both of the cruises that we just went on, at Rhine River 1 year ago and Danube this year, I cannot say enough about the fabulous staff. And we were on the Amadeus Cruise line, and that's who the boat was being run by, and they just had a fabulous staff. From the crew to the wait staff to our room attendants. I had a glorious massage on this cruise. The masseuse was amazing. Just really hands down, just bar none, always a smile on their face. Always, what can I do to help you? Always helpful staff, and friendly, and we enjoyed our cruise so much last year that we didn't have any worries about that this year. And I kind of was looking for when you sit, it's not assigned seating. So the first night I was like, okay, who looks like the most friendly server? So I'd pop into that person's table, and they were all wonderful, but we had great servers. And just the first night, I enjoy getting to know the servers just as well as anybody on the boat. I like to say, hey, how's your family? Where are you from? Learn a little bit about their culture as well. So maybe I'm a little over friendly, and that's probably a truth. But I just really always enjoy getting to the staff and, just being friendly to the staff as well. So I just wanted to share a few things. You got to see me put my closet together in our cabin from this Danube trip. And I just wanted to share some of the things that I think were benefits of a river cruise. Some of the things that maybe I would have wished a little bit more for, and these are just minor things that we had really no control over. I would have loved to spend more time in each destination. And I get that. That's the nature of a tour, is that you're going to see what they can get you to as much as possible. I know I will be back to Vienna. As a musician, there's just so many things I want to see there. I want to go to the museums. There really wasn't time for that on the tour. So those are the kind of things that, now that I know a little bit about Vienna, I know exactly where the Hofburg is. I know exactly where I need to go to the museums. And it was just really, it gave you a taste of each of the cities you were in. But now it gave me a desire to go back, because it's such an incredible architecture, culture, music. There's just not enough I can say, because of the nature of where our Danube cruise was. Music was such a big part of it. And I have to say, our hosts sort of they knew I was a musician. They went out of their way to make sure that I got to see as much as possible of those kinds of areas. And that I, make sure you get to see it. And everybody was very helpful with me, kind of knowing that that's what my interest was, and made sure I met Elizabeth von Trapp. I got to talk to her a little bit, and it really made a big difference. And I think too, being there on a second trip, everybody kind of knows other people, and I would say our trip had about half of the passengers we had met before on the Rhine cruise. And I think we actually have booked another cruise. We're going to Paris and the Seine next summer. Very excited about that. And it's with the same group. So the Joanie Madden Irish cruise, and it's of course the river cruise. And we are very excited to see Paris. I've never seen it, and looking forward to all that entails. But there, mostly all positives, but I just wish I had more time in each destination, but I understand the nature of the scheduling. So I hope you enjoyed just kind of looking into some of the pros and cons of a river cruise. We absolutely love them, obviously, and just gives you some of the kinds of things that might be different than a large boat cruise. But some of the things that really attracted us to the riverboat cruise, and check them out. There's lots of different riverboat cruises. They're becoming very popular. And I think that small setting, I think that's the thing that probably attracts us, number one, that's just a small group. And for us too, that we knew some of the people on board really helped and attracted us to the fun and excitement. So thanks again for joining me here at Suburban Chateau. And we'll be taking a closer look at our Danube cruise, and the next few videos will be all from the incredible Blue Danube.